Hi, this is Michael Rubin, and our last few lessons were how to use the circle of fifths to remember the names of the notes in a major scale. But there are other uses for the circle of fifths, and one of the most useful ones happens to be harmonica-centric. And that is using the circle of fifths to help you know which harmonica to choose when the band says what key they're in. So I'm talking about positions. Now, I don't know how much I've already explained about positions in the past, so this may be kind of a repeating lesson, but I think it's a good time to review because it will help us understand how to use the circle of fifths when it comes to positions. So I got two harps here. One of them is a golden melody. This is a C harp. And one is a special 20. This is a G harp. Now, most of the time I like special 20s, but the reason I'm using two different harps is so that visually you have some way to tell when I'm on a C harp and when I'm on a G harp. Remember, the golden melody is red, special 20 is black. So let's say I were to play the song "Oh Susanna" on my C harp starting on hole number 1 blow. Well, if I took my G harp and moved my mouth in the exact same pattern, blowing when I blew on the C harp, drawing when I drew, moving left and right, bending, in the exact same way, it would still sound like "Oh Susanna." Now, the main difference between the two keys is that the C harmonica was higher in pitch than the G harmonica. The G harmonica was lower. So here's a C harmonica. Let's say that one blow on a C harmonica was this C right here. Well, one blow on a G harmonica would be this G right here. Now, that doesn't mean that the key of G is always lower than the key of C. Okay, I could start on 4 blow on my G harmonica and play "Oh Susanna." Now, my mouth has to move in a different way to make it work, but that G would start here. So a key really doesn't have to do with how high or low it is, but the starting note on a harmonica does have a certain high-lowness in relationship to other harmonicas. So one blow on a G harp, standard G harp, is always going to be lower than one blow on a standard C harp. Okay, now you can buy specially made harmonicas where you have a very low C or a very high G, but standard harmonicas, the G is always lower than the C. But I moved my mouth the same way, and the song came out. Now, the song was lower in pitch, but it was the same song. So how does that work? Well, one blow on a C harp is the note C. Let's play the first two notes of the song. Well, I come from Alabama. If I did it on the G harp, well, I come from Alabama. The reason this works is because the distance from one blow to one draw, as measured by keyboard notes, or half steps and whole steps, a half step being one note distance on a keyboard, a whole step being 2 notes on the distance on the keyboard, is always the same as you go from harmonica to harmonica. I'm talking about standard Richter-tuned harmonicas, okay? So what I'm saying is the amount of keyboard notes in between one blow and one draw is always the same. Let's take a look at it. One blow on a C harp is C. So here's C to the left of the two black keys. One draw on a C harp is D. I don't know if you remember my little doggone Big Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, Big Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Well, the first word is dog, and the first letter in dog is D. So one draw is D. And D is in the middle of the two black keys. So if we were to count how far it was in terms of keyboard notes from C to D, we would start with C as the starting point, and we could call it 0, go up to C sharp, 1, to D, 2. So it's 2 notes, or one whole step, distance in between C and D. So one blow on a C harp will always move 2 keyboard notes higher to get to one draw on any harmonica. So if one blow is G, which is in the grouping of the 3 black keys in the left middle, and we use G as the starting point or the 0 point, and went 1, G sharp, 2, A, one draw on a G harp is A. So if you understand the relationships between the notes on the C harp, whatever notes are in the holes on the C harp, and the note C, the name of the harmonica, as measured by half steps and whole steps, then you can find the name of the note on any harmonica by counting up the same amount of keyboard notes. For example, 2 blow on a C harp is E. How far is it from C to E? If C is 0, 1, C sharp, D, 2, 3, D sharp, 4, E. So it's 4 notes higher from 1 blow to 2 blow. On a G harp, G is 0, 1, G sharp, 2, A, 3, A sharp, B, 4. Okay, so 2 blow on a G harp is therefore B. So that's how the song sounds the same, is the distance is what we really hear. Some people have perfect pitch. Perfect pitch is kind of like, you know, I can see that this is red, or I can see that this is black. They can hear that that's a B, or they can hear that it's an E. Okay? But most of us, when we listen to music, what we're actually hearing is the distance from the root note of the song to the note that the melody player is playing. And that distance remains the same as you go from key to key. It just has a different root note. So, if you're playing in the key of C on a C harmonica, which O Susanna, the way I'm playing it, is, and the way I know that is because a key is a family of notes that sound good together. So let's say you have the C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Every note in O Susanna is in that scale. And the second way I know, that's not always foolproof, because sometimes there are notes that aren't in the scale, but it's still in the same key. But the second way I know is it keeps returning to the C note. It resolves to the C note throughout the song. So, playing O Susanna on a C harmonica in the key of C is called first position, otherwise known as straight harp. Playing in the key of G on a G harp is first position. So there are 12 positions, one for every key. There are 12 notes on the keyboard, 12 positions. And the circle of fifths is a clock with 12 spots in it. And that clock has to do with positions. And we're going to talk about that next. All right, thanks very much.